I have to tell y'all that I had to talk Dara into doing this. It seemed like a really good idea at the time when I watched the video that came with the Ignite application. I thought, oh, we could do that. And then we got the email saying, well, you're going to do that, and I haven't stopped panicking since. But we have a story that we have to share. As our title suggests, we're not the only facilitators in our classroom. Every one of our students has contributed to our classroom atmosphere, but some contributions really stand out.
And the first one that really stands out is our student Aspen. She's one of our spec ed students who was completely overwhelmed by the agenda that we had every day. So she decided that we should put times on our agenda items so that she could keep herself in track and she could keep her other students in track that were in her group. So Aspen is just one of our student facilitators.
And then there were the staff meetings. We're not really sure who started those, but our kids came and told us about another teacher that was using them, and we thought, well, we'll incorporate it. And before we knew it, the kids were running it. And then we decided, well, this is a great way to start with oral communication points, so we started grading their contributions to it, which was a really good idea, except for Renika. Renika doesn't talk, ever. She doesn't speak.
At all.
So she wasn't getting any oral communication points, but the other kids in her class called her up one day to the smartboard, had her do the changes on the slides, and even though she's still not getting oral communication points, it's worth more than that because Renika knows that she's cared for, she's loved, and she's part of the team.
So not only is she now somewhat of a facilitator, but the rest of the kids feel as though they're facilitators as well, as does Connor. Connor is a natural-born leader in every group that he's in, and he enjoyed our staff meetings so much he decided to have an additional staff meeting with his group every day. So in Connor's group, he sets up a staff meeting where each student is given a job, they go out, they do their individual work, and they come back. Before the end of class, they have another meeting, and they determine if those goals have been met. And if they have not, Connor lets them know that they are responsible for that before they get back to class the next day. And if they don't have it done, there are consequences that they have to deal with from Connor.
So after Connor's contribution, we have Montez. And Montez is our online resource wizard. You name it, this boy can find it, right down to current books in print for free on PDF files. Okay. He suggested a way of adding to their vocabulary. So we went with this. We call it the Montez literary model, and if someone wants to put a word up on the board, it's got to meet his things there. And then if 3 of those 4 things work, then it gets used, and then the kids can use it in just their daily journals and things with us for added points.
And then we have Jenny, who was one of our shyest students in Delaware NTAC. As the year progressed and as she became more comfortable with the culture, she became Ambassador Jenny. She does every tour. And not only does she do the tours, she trains other kids on how to do tours. So she's gone from being one of the most quiet kids in class to one of our lead spokesmen. So she's also a facilitator in class as well. She also wanted to make sure that those quiet students in the group, the ones that kind of just fly under the radar, but they get all their work done, they really don't cause a problem, she wanted to be able to recognize them as well. So she came up with the Jenny Peer Recognition Model. So not only does your facilitator get some extra recognition, but that quiet kid that does his work and just keeps things moving, she wanted to recognize them as well.
So, like we said earlier, we're not the only facilitators. We may know the content better than the kids, but they far surpass us in other areas. The contributions that they have made to our classroom make it so much better. The kids are always talking about how BioLit is one of their favorite classes in 10th grade. And we kind of think that's funny because they say it's one of their favorite classes, not their favorite course. So we're not sure how to step that one up a little bit. They've added so much to our classroom dynamics that we just couldn't have foreseen when we started this journey a year ago. And we know the journey's just begun, and we can't wait to see what this year is going to bring with it.
Our kids made that leap from student to facilitator. They jumped off the step of the schools, and they just took a new look at how their learning goes on. So we encourage you to encourage your kids to make that jump as well. Thanks.